The Toyota GR86 has an intricate lineage. It debuted as the FT86 concept car back at the 2009 Tokyo Motor Show. Then a complicated gestation period began, which resulted in the Subaru BRZ, the Toyota 86, the latter marketed as the GT86 in Europe and New Zealand, the FT86 in Jamaica, the Scion FRS in Canada and America, or simply the 86 here in South Africa. Thankfully, Toyota has decided to simplify things by cashing in on the exploits of the Gazoo Racing division, who's dominated everything from the Le Mans 24 Hours to the Dakar Rally. So the second generation is just called the GR86. But before Gazoo Racing, there was Toyota Racing Developments, otherwise known as TRD. So Jaco, Toyota only built 300 units of this car. How did that even happen?
So Toyota built 300 because of the homologation. They needed to put 100 onto the track. Either it was on the racetrack or it was a rally.
So tell me, what sets this TRD model apart from a regular common garden Corolla liftback?
So the side skirts, the Colebrook colors with the striping and everything that was done on the car, the pin striping, Tosco wheels, that's the TRD wheels that was on the car with the TRD wheel caps, the spoiler, the wing at the back was also especially just for the TRDs. Your material of your seats was specific material that was used just for absorbing your sweat for the guys that's driving the rally.
And also they're quite grippy as well,
yes.
You know, like a velour kind of holds you in place.
That's right, so the bucket seat, it sticks, yeah. That's right, so the bucket seat keeps you there.
And in terms of its instrument display, I mean, off camera we chatted briefly about the rev counter.
So your rev counter's got a special stripe at 6,500 revs, where your normal cars, 5,500, 6,000 normal Corollas. Because of the performance, it can rev all the way. The performance was an upgrade on the motor itself with a branch that was fitted with Delroto 40 side drafts on it. The cam was changed and the headwork was done on it with double valve springs. So the performance upgrade was the main thing that was focused on the TRD version to a normal standard car.
Okay.
That's right.
Now, obviously, it was built as a homologation special.
Yes.
Did Toyota South Africa ever take this thing racing?
Yes, they did. It was on the track. The four-door was more on the track, and then your liftback was the rally one.
Was it successful? Did it win anything?
Yes, definitely. The liftback, I think it was two or three rallies that it took the crown on it.
The legendary Toyota AE86, we all love them. Unfortunately, we never got them here in South Africa. So your Corolla liftback TRD is probably the closest that South Africans got to getting that car. And it's probably the closest local relative to the current GR86. What do you think those two cars have in common?
I think the drivability, especially because it's a sports car that's still rear-wheel drive. Your overseas 86 was a twin-cam motor being rear-wheel drive. That's why everybody loves the car. The new GR86 has also a rear-wheel drive, which is a fun car to drive.
Which would you pick out of the two?
I'll pick my TRD, thank you. That's it. Yeah. Anytime.
And what is your favorite thing about the car? I mean, is it like a rear wing, or is it the pinstriping? Is it the velour seats?
The one thing that stands out is when the car revs up. Nothing better than the sound of the side drafts. When you hear it revving up to 6,000-7,000 revs, and you going through a corner or anything like that. There's nothing better.
Yeah, that's super cool. I love it. So back in the 1980s, this was a very desirable yet attainable piece of driving kit. An average Joe could walk into a Toyota dealership and buy one, which is very similar to the premise of the new GR86, affordable driving thrills. So let's see how this old one shapes up to the new one, shall we? So welcome to the interior of the new GR86, and it's grown up. It's smarter, the build quality is better than the old model, although you do still get these silver plastic switches, which could have been aluminium, but they're not. You can't have it all. But what I really enjoy about this car is the driving position. I'm tall, I'm 6'2", I've got legs like a giraffe, but I can get comfortable behind the wheel. I can heel and toe. And that's very, very important in a sports car. I'm a big fan of this steering wheel. It's as skinny as I am, which means I can feel everything that's coming through the wheels. I love it. We've also got a digital display with an LCD rev counter and a whole bunch of other things, oil temperature, G meters, stuff like that, if you're interested. And obviously a nice, generously sized infotainment system that's compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, if that's your thing. But hey, enough about the interior. Let's go out and see how this baby drives. So the first thing you'll notice about the new GR86 is how much more stuck to the road it is. The previous generation was designed to be pretty tail happy, but this new one is hunkered down, it's got grippier tires, it's a proper sports car. The new GR86 is very low to the ground. The amazing thing is it's not really uncomfortable. Toyota's built in a degree of ride comfort that allows you to drive it over our terrible Johannesburg roads without your spine coming through the top of your skull, which is quite nice. Great steering feedback has always been a forte of the Toyota 86 line, and on this new GR86 model, it's no different. You feel everything, and it's very confidence-inspiring, you know, when you're at a track day or going through a particularly gnarly set of twisties. It's a car that inspires a great deal of confidence. Now, when the GT86 came out, a lot of people moaned about the fact that it didn't have enough power, it didn't have enough torque. Yeah, that 2-liter naturally aspirated boxer engine, it wasn't the best, especially up at altitude. So on the new GR86, Toyota gave us a little bit more power and a lot more torque, especially in the mid-range, and that's where you can feel it. This new 2.4-liter engine's super eager to rev, and you can take it all the way up to 7,500. Not quite as high as a Honda S2000, but it gets there at a similar speed. But of course, one of my favorite features is this 6-speed manual gearbox. Now, you can get the GR86 as an automatic, but I wouldn't, especially if I'm driving on the street. Because in an era of PDKs and torque converters and this and that and sequential things, a proper old school manual is a joy to use, especially in this car. It's got a nice short, snickety direct feel, and it's up there with greats like the Honda S2000. In a world obsessed with SUVs, the GR86 is something of an automotive anomaly. But let's face it, in 40 years' time, the GR86 is the kind of car we'll all think back and remember very fondly.